20. What is the power level on the subclass?
It's over 9,000!
9,000? That's impossible!
Introducing the Anime Swordsman.
Welcome everyone, I'm Sean, this is Tony, and today we're looking at a very special subclass of the fighter, the Anime Swordsman.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Anime Swordsman in D&D. Oh, don't worry. In D&D, especially when you're homebrewing, you can change up your theme to be whatever you want.
Absolutely. So this one is from user Turk. Now, if you have been kind of perusing the homebrew section for a while now, I think you'll know that the Anime Swordsman has been #1 for at least a couple months, and maybe almost a year at this point, it feels like.
Absolutely. It's been topping D&DBeyond for a long, long time. I mean, we're taking a look at, almost 249 points on that thing.
Yes,
it's
definitely.
Really crazy.
Definitely. Now, it's important to note that while you're reading it, besides the fact that you might find a little funny here and there, surprisingly, it's also up there because I would say it's pretty balanced.
It actually does the thing that it should be doing. Mm-hmm. It's not like trying to be something that's not, but you have to read it with kind of like an idea of an anime that you've watched before.
Definitely. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. So once you get to 3rd level, you can go ahead and pick this subclass. The first thing you get is called Gloating Monologue. So when you get this ability, it's great. As a bonus action, you can loudly and deliberately make a long-winded monologue aimed at a creature, explaining how you've just gained the upper hand and have been holding back in some ridiculous and obscure way. So if that doesn't sound familiar, you haven't been watching enough anime. But essentially, you make a charisma check or performance check, contested by the target's wisdom or insight skill. If you succeed, you have advantage on the next melee attack you can make against the target.
Right. Again, not overpowered with it. A good 3rd level ability with it. Yeah. And I know a few players that we know that are role players that would love to give that monologue.
They already kind of do it without being an anime swordsman.
And now they get something for doing it. And that kind of works well.
Exactly.
Then the next thing you get at 3rd level as well is the Haunted Yet Convenient Past. And this is basically just proficiency in either intimidation or performance, your choice. So you get to choose one of those two.
Yeah, depending on your anime character as well. Maybe you're kind of like the rough and gruff kind of loner character, or maybe you're kind of like that gloating character.
Aren't they all just rough and gruff loner characters in some way? Now this one, the next one at 7th level, I don't really care for the name, but I understand it.
Yes, of course.
This is a very important thing. So this one's called the Power of Friendship.
Yeah, so at 7th level, when a creature of one of your allies drops his or her hit points, you go into this blind rage, and you basically go out of your way to like avenge your ally. So any attack rolls that you have against that target,
the one that killed your
friend, you have advantage, but you have disadvantage on everyone else. You're like in this blind like focus mode, like I am gonna kill this person. I want my vengeance. You know.
I just thought of something with this too, because the effect ends if the target dies or your ally gains at least 1 hit point. So I don't know. I would have one friend of the party always rush in and get swatted.
Oh, yeah.
Just so that you would have that advantage on the attack rolls.
Absolutely.
And then you toss a potion in them or something.
Yeah, it's funny. That is not a bad battle tactic when you think about it.
No, there's always one expendable party member.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rollo, for example.
Yes, I'm unconscious. So that's the ability that you get at 7th level. At 10th level, you get the ability called Plot Armor.
Now, this I find hilarious, and you have to understand how this works. So Plot Armor, whenever you fail on a death save, when you roll a 1, you only get 1 instead of 2. So it's not a critical fail on that. And then you regain 1 hit point if you roll either a 19 or a 20.
Yeah, it's normally on a 20, but you get like an extra 5% chance.
Right, so now the thing is you have to look at that and go, well, why would this be a thing? And what do they mean by plot armor? Well, have you ever noticed that the main character of an anime series never seems to die? They just kind of somehow survive through things.
Or like they're always really close, but then something just magically happens.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This is the ability that explains it.
Plot armor, 10th level. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
15th, you get Untapped Potential. Now, this one is kind of interesting because it adds 2 little things to it.
Yeah.
One is your climbing speed.
Yeah, right? So you actually get climbing speed equal to your walking speed. And it's interesting. It mentions that it works both when moving up or across completely flat, smooth surfaces.
So you can do that anime run across the wall.
Yeah, kind of just like run back with it.
Well, yeah, you can do that across the wall with it, but you can only do it in short bursts.
Yeah.
So if
you're stuck in the middle of the wall and you stop moving, you're
fall.
going down.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's there with it. But then they also get this really neat thing with the extra attack features. So normally, when you ready an action, like I'm going to attack it as soon as he comes through that door.
Normally you get like one swing.
One swing, one attack, that action is done. But with this, you actually get to make that additional attack like you would with a normal attack.
Right, so if you have like the 2 or 3 extra additional attacks and you happen to use that as your ready action, you're going off on all 4 or 5, which is really cool actually.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see it with it. You can run it when a guy comes in, I'm going to run across the wall horizontally, kick him in the face, and then uppercut him.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Totally doable with untapped potential. And now the last one is what?
So this one is your ultimate ability, both in D&D and maybe like the season finale when you're about that point. So this is the
it takes you about 3 episodes to get up to this power.
Exactly.
You just got to spend 3 episodes doing that kind of thing.
And thankfully, it doesn't take 3 episodes to actually pull this move off. It's called Ridiculously Impractical Ultimate Attack. Yes, that is the actual name. So at 18th level, you can use your action to make a single melee attack with extra anime power. So you do this attack, and anything that, important to note, within the 40-foot radius of that creature, except yourself, has to make a dex save. And if they don't make it, they take a whopping 20d6 fire damage and 20d6 bludgeoning damage.
Now, Sean, doesn't that seem overpowered to you?
You would think so, but at 18th level, besides the fact that you're probably fighting dragons and angels, the wizard already has something like that. We call that Meteor Swarm.
Yes, and that does a similar amount with that. It's fire damage and bludgeoning damage. Same exact amount of damage.
Yeah, 40-foot radius is basically kind of giving yourself like a one-time Meteor Swarm, where the wizard also has like a 1 nice level spell
right,
slot,
because at 18th level with it. But you got to remember, too, your friends can't be in that 40-foot radius.
Oh, because they're going to get obliterated by that damage, too.
Yeah, but this is essentially what happens when you power up too much, and you form that crater. That's just, just standing there in the middle of the crater, and that's it. That's what this is. So you can get that once per long rest.
Yeah. So it's again like having like that 1 ninth level spell. Now I think the reason that this one has been number 1 for such a long time is for several different reasons. For one, it's a little funny. Let's admit. When you look at the ability names and like what it can do, despite it being balanced, it gives you a chuckle.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone that's an anime fan can actually see how these things play into actual concepts. It's funny because oftentimes you get into, like, I'm not an avid anime watcher, but I know people who are.
Sure.
And it's funny to me because as an outside observer, sometimes you look at it and go, well, this is kind of the same plot point. This is how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, let me guess. He's got all these superpowers and everything else like that. But it's funny because it's tropey. That's what's cool about it.
It's tropey, and interestingly enough, I'm myself, I'm not really big on anime, but I've seen a couple, and this character progression as you're leveling up is like watching a protagonist in a season of anime. They start out by like doing monologues and like being good at things, and then they get plot armor, and then by the end of like their adventure, they can do this ultimate attack. It's almost like it's a natural anime progression itself. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Now, who is the author of this one?
We got to credit this off. This is from user Turk. Turk. Again, this has been on D&DBeyond for almost a year now, but it's been number 1 for the longest time in regards to rating.
That's true.
So again, congratulations. And, again, if you're having a hard time kind of like, trying to use this homebrew class, I think it also depends on like what you're tossing this into as well.
Right. You might want to put this into a theme setting that's either like a feudal Japan setting or something like that, where it actually makes sense. Don't throw this into a fantasy setting because it might throw off things, and you're just going to have just a different style. It's like, if all your characters are drawn by one particular artist and then you have one that's drawn by an anime artist, it's just kind of
stands out. But I think, even if it doesn't fit the theme, you also have to fit the tone as well. Maybe it does fit. You could reasonably fit this in like a fantasy setting, but if you've got like the serious like campaign,
this is more of a jovial kind of
definitely for sure kind of something a little bit more out there. But of course, with anything homebrew, you're more than welcome to try and flavor it yourself. That's what this is all about.
Yes, and speaking of which, every 2 weeks we actually have our Maw live stream. It's coming up next Tuesday is our next thing with our new DM, Sean. Not that I didn't want to do it, but,
It's good to switch off, yeah.
It's good to have that.
We get different perspectives. But yeah, we're always on every Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time.
Every other Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. And, if you've got something you want to send us, our goal with the MAW is to actually play test your materials. So if you've got monsters, if you've got classes, races, things like that you want to throw as, just go ahead and send it to us here at dmbrewcrew@gmail.com. Same goes if you have a class that you just want reviewed.
Yeah, exactly. And as always, we do want to thank all of our Patreons for supporting us. Again, if you do want to check it out, you can go to the link below. Any of the money that we do get pretty much goes back into the channel, whether it's reviewing things, getting better equipment, so on and so forth. So again, we do appreciate it if you have a chance to do so.
Absolutely. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time,
keep brewing.